Welcome back, everybody. Gorilla Man's Garage. We're inside today because it's a horrible day outside. Okay, last video was the unboxing of the FIMI X8 Tele, and in the description I mentioned I was going to do basically a beginner's guide 101 class, whatever. My first drone, or I just bought a GPS video drone. What do I do? I ordered it and I don't know what to do with it. Type of a video. Well, I made a document, a DOC, and it's got all kinds of steps, etc. And it gets really, really lengthy. And I don't want to drag out this video. Just a quick intro. What are the main things? And I'll put these slides up, and you can read them as we're going through. I'll go through some of them, but not all of them, and you can read it later. And a lot of the steps are very important. But basically, it's remembering the basics. Document everything. Okay, from the moment you get that parcel, you open it up, you inspect all your parts, make sure you've got everything, there's no cracks, no breaks, nothing missing, etc. Document everything, video, photos, whatever, because you never know. You might have to pack it all back up and send it back, or there may be something missing, and they're going to say, well, it was there when we shipped it. Anyway, you just get this drone, you want to get into the hobby, you want something easy, so you chose a GPS drone, you chose a 3-axis gimbal, and you chose a video drone, obviously, that takes an SD card, and you want to take videos and family vacation and travel with it, etc. Two main things to think about. Is it over 250 grams or is it under 250 grams? If it's under 250 grams and you're in Canada, I got something in my lip here. If it's under 250 grams, you're aces. You can pretty well fly, because there's really only one major rule in the rules and regulations up here, okay? Don't be an idiot. And if you are, you deserve what you get, okay? If it's over 250 grams, yes, you have to abide by that, but also there is a liturgy of other things you have to also do. You have to register. You have to take a basic certificate course. You can't fly over 122 meters in the sky. You can't, buildings and people and cars and this and that, and you have to keep records of everything you do, and you change your propeller, and you have to keep them for months and months and years and whatever, and you have to pass them off to whoever you sell the drone to, and you have to have a spotter if you're going to go beyond visual line of sight, and even if you're using your screen, you take your eyes off, you have to have somebody there, and you have to document all this. You have to have a specific landing site that you've scouted out, and holy mackerel. And even if you get technical about it, you can't fly a drone over 250 grams if weather conditions are such that go against the manufacturer's suggested settings, which means 0 degrees Celsius. And if you get charged with that, then you deserve everything that's coming to you. You've gone beyond, I'm an idiot. Anyway, back to the beginning, okay? So, we've got this bundle in front of us. We've opened it up. We've got everything there. And basically, it's 3 parts. You have the drone, you have the controller, and you have batteries, and a bunch of cables, and a charger. That's about it on every single one you get, okay? You'll have to look after these things, okay? If it comes with a charger, charge your batteries up. Okay, I'm not going to get into, well, you've got to go into storage mode, you've got to do this, it's a LiPo, oh, it's a lithium ion, you can do this, da, da, da. Basically, charge them up, okay? Fully charged, okay? 9 times out of 10, the propellers are going to be on. Excuse me, I got something in my beard. Maybe it was the flies I ate for breakfast. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so charge the batteries up, okay? Download the user manual. Okay, read it. Even though it might be in Chinglish you can't understand. Yes, I said that word. Sorry, some people, but of the last 3 or 4 years, it's been getting better and better and better. But we all know that there's still mistakes in a lot of these overseas manuals. Don't worry about it. That's what YouTube's for. That's what we're here for. Ask us questions. We get you the answers. Okay? You've got this drone. You're documenting everything. Everything's out. You've charged up the batteries. What do? You're in your living room. Don't worry. in the modern age of these hobbyist drones, I would say, and I'm not talking the Walmart specials that you got to put the 3 batteries in or 4 batteries in the controller, and as soon as you touch a button, boom, up it goes and hits the light and breaks. Don't ask me how I know. No, I'm talking about the 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, $600 drone you're going to buy. You were convinced, somebody said, okay, go buy a FEMI, go buy a Hubsan, go buy a DJI. Boom, you've got it. What do you do with it? Well, okay. It comes with cables. What are the cables for? Well, the cables connect to your device or phone. You use the phone to communicate with the controller that communicates to the drone, which feeds it back the information so you can see what's going on. You can see through the lens of the camera in the drone where it's going. And then you can control it with a radio controller, and away you go. That's the basics of it. So you've got all this stuff. What do you do? Well, and I'll talk about Android phones, okay? If you have an Android phone, you have to enable debugging because that's the only way you're going to get true communication through the USB system cable from the radio control to the phone, to the craft, and back. Okay? Enable USB debugging in an Android phone. Okay? And go to the actual website of the manufacturer to download the app, whether it be the X Hubsan 2, 3, FEMI Navi 3, 2, whatever, Mini, DJI Fly app, whatever. Go to the manufacturer. Don't rely on the Play Store because sometimes in the Play Store they're outdated. And it's nice to keep a record of these because they're all APKs and you can store your APKs anywhere you want. I do. I keep a record of every app that comes out, and if something's really buggy, I go back to a previous app. Okay, there you go. Yeah, you've charged up the batteries. You're good. The props are generally going to be put on already. Some cases, some of them don't. You have to push and twist, and I'll show you that, like the Tele and the FEMI X8s. Okay, you have to push and twist, and they click in. Some of the DJIs do that. Most of them, though, are the screw-on propellers, and they already come screwed on, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so initially you're going to have it out in front of you, and they all have a gimbal cover. It covers the camera. So you can take that camera off. You're going to be looking at it. You're going to put the battery in, make sure it clicks in. You're going to be looking at it and say, oh, that's really nice. I've got my phone. I've got the app. I've gone through the app. I've read the instructions. I've read through the books. I know what I'm talking about. I'm familiar with the app. I'm familiar with all the parts and blah, 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 blah. Now, what do I do? Well, let's start her up. Well, not quite yet. Okay, where are we going from here? Here we go. Okay. There we go. I just have to get the next slide up here. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, okay? When you have it down and you're ready to go and you open up the arms, got the propellers on and stuff, when you are ready to fly, be sure you separate the propellers. It's a good practice to get into. Don't get them all squished up because sometimes they can tangle each other and you can blow a bearing. You don't want to do that. Don't ask me how I know. But anyway, so you open up the arms, it's sitting on the table, and it's a good practice to do this inside where you have a Wi-Fi connection, you're connected to the internet. Okay. It's also a good practice that when you are outside, you turn off your Wi-Fi and you put your phone, if you have a SIM card, put it on silent or airport mode or airplane mode or whatever it is. Okay, so you don't want any interference coming in. You get a call and it interferes and it knocks out your communication and the craft just sits there and you can't do anything about it. Don't ask me about how to do it. But anyway, a lot of that going on, right? Okay, so you put it on here and the sequence really doesn't matter, and it used to, but not anymore. Plug everything in. Okay, so you're going to have the drone sitting there, the battery's ready, the radio controller has the phone inside. You've connected the phone to the controller with one of the USB cables, making sure it's the right one. And your phone is started, and now you're ready to go. What you're looking for, because you're inside, you're looking for updates. There's always firmware updates. Something new the manufacturer came out with. Oh, this didn't work, so we fixed it. So you're looking for updates. So what we do is, the sequence doesn't really matter whether you start the drone on or whether you start the controller at first. It really doesn't matter. I go drone, controller, okay? If you're from the FPV world, you would go controller, drone. Anyway, and the way you do that, it's a double click and hold. Okay, some people go boom, boom, or they go boom, boom, and nothing happens. Well, no, it's a double click and hold. Memorize that. Double click and hold. Click, click. And you'll see the lights on the battery go four, or on the drone, 4 lights, usually it's 4 LEDs, light up. When the last one lights up, let go. Then you hear the chime, and it'll be good to go. On the controller, same thing, boop, boop. And when you hold it, you'll hear a beep, let go, it's started up. There'll be flashing lights on the controller of some description or another, and once they're solid or something changes, you know you're connected to the drone. So now your drone is connected to the controller. The app will start up automatically if everything is all right. If it doesn't, then you've got a problem with the cable generally, and you turn everything off, inspect the cable, make sure it's in the right port, okay, or the cable isn't broken or damaged or whatever, and start again. But in a perfect world, start the drone, start the radio controller, it connects, it'll boot up your app, and the interface will come up, and within a few seconds, it'll either say there's an update, which you do the update, blah, 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 do all that, wait 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. Be patient. It will work, okay? Be sure you have virtually a full charge battery, okay? Boom. So now you've updated everything. Shut everything down, okay? Go through the sequence again so that you know that when everything starts up, you get the video feed and you can actually see what the camera sees from the drone. Use the gimbal wheel to make the gimbal go up and down the camera. You know you're connected. Great. Okay, fine. Now you're ready to take it out. And the last step here is time to take off. Okay? So then you shut her all down. You're inside. You got your Wi-Fi going. Shut her down. Get her outside. Okay. Okay, now we're outside. And on our first flight, we have to pick a place that is safe. Near people, buildings, cars, fences, electrical, hydro wires, be as far away as anything metal as you can, blah, blah, blah. Some drones are more sensitive to interference than others, and you go from there. Okay, so pick a spot. Generally, I like maybe 20 or 30 meter radius, that there's nothing, and then I can be reasonably assured that if it even goes up and decides to start doing something crazy, it's not going to hit anything, and I can jump in and grab it, or if I have to grab it or put it down or whatever. Okay, so we go outside, we find this spot, we have a launch pad. Now you can buy one of those round circular things that when it puts on the ground gets blown away by the lightest breeze, or you can put a pizza box down with a book inside or something or whatever, or you can get a big book and put it down, or a piece of plywood or a flat rock or something flat, because these gimbals, when they go down, they're really close to the ground, so you want to elevate it a little bit, and that's why a lot of people use landing gear, etc., but we're a little off topic. Let's get back on topic here. Okay, put it on the ground, ready to go. Okay, so we've got our fully charged batteries, we know we're up to date on firmware, we take it outside, and we're going to open up the arms, and we're going to spread those propellers a little bit so we don't have anything cross-linked, and we're going to boot everything up. And now we have the video feed and we're ready to go. What we're going to do first, we're going to practice boring stuff. Start the motors. You can either push the button to start the motors, but sometimes if you do that, it's automatically going to take off. So I would suggest you learn first, the first thing you learn is manually start the motors, manually stop the motors, over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, do that over and over and over and over again. Okay, then you can deal with liftoff and stuff like that. Okay, so if you want to take off, you can either push up on the right stick, it will accelerate, that's the accelerator. Okay, and when you want to take off, just give it a little bit of gas and let go, and it'll go. Okay, you don't want to all the way up and it ends up 20 meters up in the air. Okay, the automatic takeoff button is usually raised between 1.5 and 3.5 meters off the ground. Okay, Practice that up and down. Practice hovering, just staying there, watching your video screen, watching the drone going back and forth. Move the drone, stop it, let go of all the sticks, look at the FPV feed on your screen, look back at the drone so you can get that acquisition of drone to FPV, drone to screen. You move it over there to screen, okay? That's important because when you're flying and you look down at your screen for a moment and you look back up, you know exactly where it is and how to do it, okay? That's pretty good. But the very first flight, you're just going to be doing small little things. Moving left, moving right, maybe banking left and banking right, maybe turning a little bit, all in this 20, 30 degree radius. You're not going to go up too high. You're not going to go up 500 meters. You're not going to go up 50, 60, 70, 80 meters. You're just going to go up maybe 10 meters and come down and just use that whole battery just to get a feel for what that drone actually does, okay? Another most important thing is, remember the very first rule I said? Document everything. Your tablet or your phone either has a built-in screen recorder or you can install a screen recorder app. I use Do Recorder. It's just, I've always used it. It's an app, doesn't take up much room, doesn't use any power, whatever. Screen record every single flight, okay? Every single flight. Now remember, the drone does keep record of your flight logs, okay? It does. Only if you register with the company. When you start it up, it'll say, do you want to log in? And if you log in, it'll keep record of all your flights, etc., etc. If you don't, it won't keep a record of all your flights. That's about the only difference there is there. But anyway, I digress again. So, keep a record of all your flights by a screen recorder. Much better. It's great. I really, really cannot emphasize this enough, okay? Screen record everything. So then if something happens, you have a real good chance of finding out what happened and if it crashes, where it crashed, and you don't have to rely on the internal mechanisms of Find My Drone on the map to find your drone. Okay, you can pretty well see where it was. Really, really, really screen recorder over and over and over and over and over. Okay. If by chance when you start up, the drone says, oh, I need a compass calibration, I need an IMU, I need a gyro, just do that. The only thing is, once you finish and follow the online prompts, follow the screen prompts, you'll have no problem. 90% of the time, I have some issues with some manufacturers, but that's another little thing there. Follow the prompts, you'll be fine in most cases. That's what YouTube is for. That's what we're for. We can help you out. I can help you out. You know, I say we, I say the community of drone testers, reviewers, whatever, not the promoters of things, not the influencers of things, the true reviewers and people that troubleshoot and really want to help you in the hobby type thing. So do your calibrations. Once you've done your calibrations, shut it all down. Start it back up again. Okay? That way you know it's all locked in. Okay? If you raise up off the ground and it starts to circle, you're not touching it, it's a circle. Bring it back down. That's in need of a compass calibration or an IMU calibration, but 9 times out of 10, it's a compass calibration. So that's why the first flight, you don't go too high. You find out what the feeling is, what the prompts are like. If there's anything that comes up on the screen, you explore the screen because it's hovering most times. And it's good to let it just hover and watch it for a couple of minutes. It's not going to overheat because those blades are blowing colder air down on the motors and everything else. It's not going to overheat. Okay, and you can explore that app, the user interface, and find out what things do. And you can turn lights on, turn lights off. You can adjust your return to home height. You can decide what it does if it's got a low battery. You can go through the whole app and figure things out. And that's what you do, okay? When you're recording, okay, you need what they call an SD card, a micro SD card in the drone. Now, a lot of these drones they are capable of 4K and better video, okay, and some 48 megapixel pictures. You need a reasonably good card of speed to capture all that. Now, the minimum now you want to use is a U3 card, and what they call an A2 is the best. Okay, and SanDisk Extreme Pro or Kingston Canvas Pro, Samsung Pro, Samsung Plus, all these, they're really, really good. So just don't go for the off-brand fakies from AliExpress and stuff. They're useless. Get them from Amazon, get them from a Best Buy, get them from somewhere that you can rely on and you can take them back if they're not. And every time you get an SD card, put it through a VeriDrive test. VeriDrive. VeriDrive is a portable program for your computer that will analyze a flash drive. So you put your SD card in a reader, put it in, it reads it, it will tell you what it actually is. And I have had so many 65, 100, 528, whatever, 128 gig cards come out 2 gigs. Ridiculous. Okay, so be leery of that. So that's about it. Okay, very, very important. The first battery, first couple of batteries, okay, just take your time, up and down, up and down. And when you bring it down, first thing you do is make sure you turn off that video if you're taking a video. Okay, some of the products automatically shut down the video when it stops. A lot don't. But don't worry. If that happens, if you have a craft that doesn't turn off the video automatically and you land and you've forgotten to do that, don't panic too much. Yes, if you take the SD card out and put it in your computer, it's going to be corrupt. You won't be able to read the file. Put the card back in the drone. Okay, fire everything up. You don't have to take off. Just connect it. Okay, start a video, stop a video. A 2-second video, doesn't matter what. It will go back and re-stop every video that's on that file. It'll check, take that out, put it in your computer. The one that was corrupted will be fine. There you go. Okay, so that's it. Document everything. That's the most important thing. Okay, look out for people. Be careful. Okay, look out for people. Look out for objects and animals and trees and buildings and all this kind of stuff. Be wary of the rules and regulations for whatever drone you're flying. Okay, again, in Canada, a sub 250 drone is the best way to go because you really don't have much to worry about. Okay, and you can pretty well fly anywhere common sense would dictate. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I say okay all the time, but that's about it. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. I think I covered everything. I've got these on the screen. You can stop and pause and cut and paste and do what you want with them. And there you go. So the next one will be the part 2 of the FIMI Tele program, where we actually boot it up and see what happens. Okay, so till then, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell, get out and get some fresh air. Bye now.